Chapter 30. The Shadow Within. Haltoria's Sanctuary, Crystal Healing Chamber. Kale hadn't slept in 3 days. He sat slumped on the cold crystal floor beside his mother's bed, elbows resting heavily on his knees, head bowed in exhaustion. The black veins now covered most of his torso, thick and pulsing like living roots, creeping relentlessly up his neck toward his jaw. Every breath felt heavier, as if something ancient and hungry clawed at his ribs from within, trying to tear its way free. The absence of Elion's light had left him raw, unanchored, and the shadow within grew bolder with each passing hour. Illyria lay deathly still on the bed of luminous moss and starflowers. The high elf priestesses had exhausted every spell in their ancient repertoire. Her once glorious golden glow was now little more than a faint, irregular pulse beneath her translucent skin, like a dying heart, struggling to beat its final rhythms. The air in the chamber felt thick and heavy, scented with crushed herbs and fading magic. One of the elder priestesses, Lyrinea, graceful high elf, with hair like woven moonlight threaded with living vines, placed a gentle hand on Kale's shoulder. Her touch carried a faint warmth, but it did little to ease the chill settling in his bones. "The ritual's hold is too strong without aid from Elion," she said softly, her melodic voice laced with sorrow. "We can sustain her body and keep her anchored to this world, but her spirit is fading. If the veil remains sealed much longer, the mother will slip into the Greylands, where even divine essence may dissolve into eternal twilight." Kale's hands clenched into fists so tightly that his gauntlets creaked. The black veins pulsed brighter in response, sending jolts of dark energy racing through his veins. "My father would rather watch her die than admit he was wrong," he whispered bitterly, all because she chose mercy for mortals over his precious, inflexible order. "His pride has doomed us all." He stood suddenly, legs unsteady, and walked to the edge of the chamber where pale moonlight filtered through the living crystal walls, casting fractured silver patterns across the floor. He stared at his reflection in a polished, crystal panel, his golden hair now dull and tangled, his once radiant features marred by creeping darkness that twisted his expression into something almost unrecognizable. A voice, not his own, slithered through his mind, smooth and seductive, echoing with stolen power. "Why fight it, Prince? Your father abandoned you both. The heavens turn their back. Take the power I offer. Save her yourself. Become what you were always meant to be, strong enough to defy even a god." Kale slammed his fist into the crystal wall with a guttural growl. A spiderweb of cracks bloomed outward from the impact. "I am not like them," he snarled through gritted teeth, chest heaving. "I will not become Zarek's shadow." But even as the words left his lips, his eyes flickered fully crimson for several long, terrifying seconds, the gold drowning in blood red hunger, before he wrenched it back with sheer force of will. Sweat mixed with dark ichor trickled down his temple. Elion, the Grand Hall, the Silver City, had never felt so cold. Angels moved through the once vibrant golden streets in heavy silence, their wings drooping and their luminous robes dimmed. The majestic waterfalls of liquid light flowed slower, as if mourning. Even the sacred flowers in Illyria's private gardens had begun to wilt, their petals curling brown at the edges. Azoth sat alone upon the cracked star throne, his massive frame hunched forward, staring fixedly at the sealed vela, towering barrier of impenetrable, golden light that shimmered mockingly above the city like a locked prison gate. The heart of creation pulsed weakly overhead, its once perfect radiance now threaded with ugly red and black lines that spread like infection. Lyral entered the hall without announcement or bow, her steps echoing sharply. "The people are mourning, my lord," she said, her voice steady but edged with quiet accusation. "They feel the queen's pain as keenly as their own. Some are whispering in the temples that the supreme deity has become no different from the fallen he once banished in his righteousness." Azoth's head snapped up, his eyes blazing with divine fire. "Careful, cleric. You tread on dangerous ground." Lyral met his gaze without flinching, tears glistening but unshed. You sealed the veil to punish her defiance. But in doing so, you have punished every soul in Elion, the Silver Guard, trapped and isolated on a scare. The mortals below who cry out for their goddess in vain, and now, even the heart of creation suffers, its light corrupted by your choice. Azoth rose slowly from the throne, his movements heavy with an exhaustion that seemed to age him. For the first time in millennia, the supreme deity looked truly weary, the weight of eternity pressing down. I did what had to be done to protect creation, he said, but the words rang hollow, echoing back at him from the vast chamber. Lyral shook her head slowly. You did what fear told you to do. The same fear that drove you to banish Enkidu. The same fear that pushed Kale away from you. And now it may cost you the woman you love most, the very heart of our realm. She turned to leave, pausing at the grand doors. If Illyria dies down there, many in Elion will never forgive you. And perhaps they should not. The doors closed behind her, with a soft, final resonance that lingered in the air. Azoth stood alone in the echoing vastness. He looked up at the damaged heart of creation, its fractured light casting broken patterns across his face. For the first time, the words he had buried deep escaped in a broken whisper. What have I done?